everybody. Welcome to our week number 5 Twitch live stream. It is 8 o'clock, or 8 o'clock, 7:31. We're right at that time. Hopefully everybody is doing well, enjoying your summer. It's July, Shark Week is going. It's definitely starting to feel like summer to me. Though it's going so quickly, I don't know if anyone else feels that way, but it feels like it's going very fast. So anyway, I hope you all are doing well. Can you all hear me and see me okay? Can someone put in the chat if everything is coming through all right in terms of the sound and you can see me and all that stuff? I'll wait just a minute. We got a bunch of you kind of logging in. Yes. Okay, good. Excellent. And it even looked like we didn't have knock on something too many ebook site difficulties this week. I know a few people struggled, but it seemed like this was a little bit smoother of a 2-week section. So hopefully everything is going pretty well. We have passed the halfway point of our class. We have 4 weeks left together. And as of this morning, we have started weeks 5 and 6. So we're right here, week 5, week 6. Everything from weeks 5 and 6 is due by the 21st at 11:59 p.m. So you have access to those 2 weeks. And then when those 2 end, we'll have 2 more to go, and then we will be done. So before I go forward, though, I just wanted to just make a few comments about the last 2 weeks. I just sent out an email with some kind of general feedback. I did get everything graded today, so everything should be up to date, including all of your exam scores, and then everything from weeks 3 and 4. So overall, really nicely done on discussions 5, 6, 7, and 8, and also on the exam. I was really impressed. The exam scores were really high. A lot of you did fantastic. The average was right around an A, which is wonderful to see. In terms of the discussions, if we look just really quickly at some of the discussions. Discussion 5, I really enjoyed reading about your dreams. A lot of you did a great job kind of taking your dream and applying the theories to it, which is exactly what I was hoping you would do. If you lost points, it's typically because you didn't give me enough about the dream theories or show me that you could connect the two. A couple of people also missed this last bullet down here of why do you personally think that we dream? Don't forget to also reply to a classmate. Some of you are still not doing that, and it's kind of a very easy 2 points to get, so you want to make sure you're always getting them. For discussion number 6, let's let this load here. This one was all about The Office. I hope you enjoyed the little prank clip. Classical conditioning is definitely one of the harder topics in this class, but a lot of you did a beautiful job identifying the US, UR, CS, and CR. Number one reason people lost points was right here. So for this last one, other than amusing pranks, I wanted you to think of a way you could use classical conditioning in your life. Some of you did operant conditioning instead. So anytime you're using the words like reward or reinforce or punish, that's operant conditioning. So that was the biggest reason that I saw that people lost points. But overall, really nicely done on what can be kind of a challenging topic. Also, in week number 4, we had 7 and 8, so let's look at those really quickly. Discussion 7, again, you didn't have to actually memorize this, but if you had taken this class with me in person, you would have had to memorize this 28-digit sequence of letters and numbers. A lot of you did a great job telling me like the story you would come up with or how you would chunk it. Biggest reason people lost points was giving me the same method for seconds and days. Really wanted you to have a different one. But for the most part, again, really nicely done. Some creative ways, some great little personal tips and suggestions and strategies that a lot of you shared, which I think is fantastic. And then finally, for discussion number 8, this one was all about intelligence and cognition related to chapter 8. Again, really nicely done. Enjoyed your associations with intelligence, things you could do to increase your intelligence. This was the one that was worth the most points. Some of you kind of maybe didn't quite give me enough here in describing, standardization, reliability, and validity. But for the most part, again, really nicely done. A lot of you should be very happy with your scores on those. Please don't forget to do the peer response for the classmate. Again, very easy 2 points that you want to make sure you're getting. And thank you for your thoughts on self-assessment number 1. really nice to kind of give you that opportunity to reflect back on how you're doing and what you could potentially do differently. You have one more opportunity to do that this week with self-assessment number 2. And again, with the exam, as I mentioned a moment ago, a lot of you did a beautiful job. If you are doing well on the exams, keep it up. Keep up the same strategy and format and everything that you're doing. If you still wish you had done a little bit better, still lots of time in the class in terms of we're only halfway done. So you have 2 more exams to go. You could definitely kind of tweak things a little bit for the next exam. But for the most part, nice job. We're moving on now to weeks 5 and 6. So we'll focus on week number 5 this week since that's where we are. And then next week we'll talk about 6, though it is open for you if you would like to consider working ahead for next week. So for week number 5, we're looking at chapters 9 and 10, so motivation and emotions. As always, you're going to want to do 3 things for each chapter, right? First, you're going to want to read the chapter in the ebook. Second, make sure you read through the lecture. And third, watch the lecture video. And so the lecture and lecture videos are here, and then obviously the chapter are on the ebook site. You do have 2 discussions this week, so let's take a look at those together. Discussion number 9, as always, you have my instructions up here at the top and then my little video. So this one, we're looking at the topic of motivation, specifically hunger. Kind of I want to say a lighter discussion, maybe every pun intended. But this one, you're going to look at fad diets. So I want you to find a fad diet, and it can be one that you've done or maybe one that somebody you know has done or one you've read about or seen. You're going to report the main components of it, what you're required to do or not do, what are the results, what are the main advantages or disadvantages. You could also think about that as like rewards and dangers. And then what role do you think that the media plays in contributing to negative self-views that often accompany a desire to lose weight or eating disorders such as anorexia and bulimia. So when you're ready, you'll hit reply, and then don't forget to also reply to a classmate. For discussion number 10, this one's related to emotion. So discussion 10 right here. I'm sorry, didn't want to open. As always, again, you have my instructions up at the top, my little video underneath. This one has to do with emotions and emotion theories. And I see people mess up on this a little bit. My other class that is a week ahead of you, a few people made this mistake this week, so I just want to point this out. I want you to come up with an emotional reaction from all 3 theories. So come up with like a little scenario of something that was real or something you make up. Could be something from a movie, but like an event that happened that led to an emotion. And then what you're going to do is you're going to explain the chain of events from all 3 theories. So the James Lang, Cannon-Bard, and Schachter-Singer. I had a few people in my class last week only do 1 theory. So make sure you do all 3. So you're going to describe the chain of events, right? That physiological reaction to the emotion and so on. And do that from all 3. Feel free to be creative and have fun with it. It doesn't have to be a real event. It can be whatever you would like it to be. And then secondly, what are some ways to spot a lie? You can reference the lecture or your own personal experience, but be specific. And then just for fun, and it's kind of an older video, but what you can watch here is I made a little 2 truths and a lie video just for fun. It's purely for fun. If you would like to see if you can guess which one is the lie. And I am an absolutely awful liar. I smile just thinking about lying. I'm smiling already. But I did practice and rehearse, so maybe I'll pull it off. We'll see. But if you would like to watch that, it's there, and you're welcome to. And I'll reveal what the lie was when I send out my feedback after these 2 weeks. And then, of course, don't forget to reply to a classmate. The other thing that you do have this week, and I mentioned it earlier, you have a little self-assessment. Just like the last one, it's worth 5 points, so please do take it. It is worth points. And you're going to just kind of reflect that now that we're at the halfway point. How do you feel about your grade? Is there anything that you wish you had done differently? Anything you're going to do differently for the second half? Kind of reflecting on your progress in the class so far. Please be honest. It doesn't hurt or help if you say that everything is fantastic or awful or whatnot. Just be honest. And then I will post the recording of this a little bit later, and I'll give you the extra credit question in a minute. I do have a couple of reminders for you. We're kind of in that like short and sweet version where like we've done all the setup for the class and we're in the heart in the middle of it. So I do have a couple of reminders, and if you have any questions for me, I'm more than happy to answer them. The first one, we're in week 5, so a lot of you that were subscribed for free have fallen off. If you could take a moment this week to double check your subscription again, and I know I've said this before, I really appreciate those of you who've done that. It saves me a lot of time, and it is summer, and it would be nice to have as much time as possible with my kids. We only have like 1 month left before school. I'm trying not to think about it. At least it's like 1 month till football. That's how I'll think about it instead, right? But if you could take a moment to double check your subscription status, I would really appreciate it. And remember, if you're watching this later as a recording, you can still get those extra credit points by subscribing. The other reminder I have for you is if you're looking ahead, I'm going to put this here in the chat. Oops, it's taking a second to load. Our next Twitch live stream will be on Monday, July 15th at 7:30 p.m. Okay, so that will be our next Twitch live stream. That'll be for week number 6. We'll go over the 2 discussions, and then I'll also go over the exam and study guide for that week. If you have any questions about the study guide or exam, that's a wonderful time to bring those. Otherwise, I do have that extra credit question for you, and I'll give you that here in a moment. Let me pull this up since I wrote it out already to help myself out. So this is... thank you, whoever just figured that out. I appreciate that, again, with the subscription. So this is the week number 5 Twitch extra credit question. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to put it in the chat. What is the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic motivation? Explain and give an example of each. So what is the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic motivation? Explain and give an example. And so when you're ready to answer that, you go back to Canvas. And since we're in week 5, you'll click on optional Twitch extra credit number 5 right here. And then up at the top, click on start assignment. And that's going to bring up that box where you can type your response and go ahead and hit submit. And you get your confetti burst and little pinwheels. Very fun. Very summery. I like it. So make sure you do that at some point in this week or next week if you'd like to get those extra credit points for joining me here or watching this later and having that subscription on Twitch. Otherwise, again, these are the things for week 5, and week 6 is open to you if you'd like to work on it, that we will focus on that together next week. So again, kind of short and sweet, about like 15 minutes or so, but I will hang out for a little while. If any of you do have any questions for me, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Otherwise, I hope you all are having a wonderful July. I hope you had a good 4th of July if you celebrated it. And stay cool. It's going to continue to be hot, right? We went to the beach this morning and we went when it was foggy and it was like 60 degrees. It was so nice. Everyone was like, it's freezing. I'm like, this feels amazing, right? I could have stayed there all day. But I hope you all stay cool. Have a good night, good rest of the week. I'm going to hang out for a little while if you have any questions, but I am going to minimize my video just so I'm not staring at myself. But have a wonderful week. Thank you again for joining me live. Thank you all. You too, have a great night. And if you do have any questions, feel free to hang out and ask me in the chat, and I would be more than happy to answer them for you. Thank you as well. Thank you all for joining me. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you. You too. Thank you.